granted, for many years of my life. It just had a whole different effect on me. And I just felt my heart getting real soft. And it was just a weird feeling. You know, it was like I needed my poker face because I was really turning into something just real mushy. And I remember running downstairs, and the first Muslim I seen, I just ran up on him. And just something just told me to ask him, like, what do I have to do to become a Muslim? And the brother was kind of thrown away because, you know, I approached him very aggressively. I don't know if y'all know what the stick-up kid is, but I kind of ran up on him like I was going to take something from him. Like, how do you become a Muslim? He said, what do you mean? How do I become a Muslim? He said, you want to be Muslim? Yes, I want to be a Muslim. So he was like, it's simple. You say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. So I stood there, repeated what the brother said. And now I'm just looking like the Statue of Liberty. I'm just standing there like, okay. That's it? There's nothing else? Should I go get one of them outfits you got and go take a shower, you know, cleanse myself or something? He said, no, you're Muslim. I said, Muslim? You're Muslim. I said, okay, I'm Muslim. And I remember, you know, vaguely, you know, that I had just did something that felt good, but wasn't quite sure what I did, but I knew I was sincere. But when I returned back to the States, I actually took my Shahada again. It was a brother from Philly I knew, you know what I'm saying? I told him what I did. He started trying to question me because I think he wanted the reward. Like, yo, did you say it like this? Did you say it this? Did you have your finger like, nah, wait, nah, you gotta do that again. I gave like, you know, and I knew what I did, but you know when it's fresh and it just happens spontaneously. So I took my Shahada twice just to make sure I was a Muslim. So basically, summing it up, you know, my story for the first part, they told me I actually got enough time to run my mouth today. What happened was, the moral to the story is this. And I mention this all the time to the youth, to be very, very mindful of how you conduct yourself as a Muslim. Because this is the lesson that I learned overall, is that the way you conduct yourself as a Muslim, people are watching. People are watching. And while you're watching them, worrying about how they might perceive you, they're doing the same thing. Because when you see sometimes the Muslim making salat, salat, you know, and you see someone taking the most beloved part of their body, which is your face, and placing it on the floor, that alone, you know, acts as dawah. And dawah is calling the people to, you know, the religion of Islam. So for the non-Muslims, you know, this is exactly what Islam entails, you know. Each and every one of us in this room is born under the natural disposition of monotheism, meaning that we're born in fitra. You're born under the natural understanding that there's only one creator. Born that way. Even if these brothers and sisters who wasn't born Muslim, if you were ever in an immense situation and someone pointed a gun at you, or you fell out of a plane and your parachute didn't work, you'd be screaming, oh my God, that didn't work, oh my God. It's just instinctive for you. But you know, for those who might be Christians, and I'm not saying this to be funny or disrespectful, no way. You will act out the same emotion in that situation. But let's say the parachute worked, you hit the floor, what you say? Thank you, Jesus. You got time to think about Jesus now. But instinctively, you know what I'm saying? And this is to let you know that this is something we all possess. We can all agree upon this without getting too religiously, you know, and inclined, just to know that we're born with this understanding. And this was something that never really sat right with me growing up as a Christian. My grandmother was in the United Negro College Fund Choir for like 30, 40 years. I used to spend 6 days a week in the church. And it was so many questions that I had that I couldn't get answers for. You know? I couldn't get the answers. And it was almost like it was like a cardinal sin for asking too many questions and stuff. You know, pastor was just like, listen, son, just believe. Believe. Yo, no, we just helped like design the whole church, yo, money we done put in the pot. I can't get an answer. Like, just trust me, just believe. And I was like, all right, cool. I used to have questions like, you know, why does Jesus pray? How do you call Jesus God when he's praying? Who is he praying to? You know? And all these little questions that, you know, I've always investigated. You know, gradually through my life, I've always challenged and questioned certain things. So when I found Islam and found the simplicity that came with Islam, it changed my life forever. And I'm not going to really get winded with the whole, you know, transition between Christianity and Islam. I don't want to start no debates. But just trying to explain that this simplicity that I was looking for, I found in Islam. Knowing that I can ascribe and attribute everything that I do to one source. You know, not relying on fortune cookies, horoscopes, don't split the pole, look out for the black cat, can't do this without my favorite hat, all this crazy stuff that I used to be doing, you know. To know that I can just attribute any act of worship, anything that I'm going through to one source. Knowing that something happens to me that is not the point to blame and live bitterly and be hating this guy for 7 years or whatever the case may be. Knowing that whatever happened that moment was decreed by God, so I can accept it and move on. That simple. And it was like, this was the simplicity I was looking for. You know, because living in a lifestyle that's very spontaneous and bombards your whole day and schedule every day, like I said, waking up in the morning to sin, going to sleep to wake up another day to sin, going to sleep to wake up, I mean, this repetitiveness was like, man, this is crazy. So, you know, like I said, I just try to urge, you know, the brothers and the sisters to be mindful of how we conduct ourselves because people are watching. And every Muslim in here has the obligation to give dawah. You know, the Prophet ﷺ said, if you only know one ayah, you are obligated to give dawah. And like I'm saying, the way we conduct ourselves without even opening your mouth is a form of dawah. And since I've been a Muslim, brother told you, it's been December 8th. I've been very, very active in giving dawah. First, establishing an understanding that I'm firm upon in order to convey this message. Because the message is very consistent from every prophet that ever walked this earth to worship God and God alone. And this was that mystery that I was looking for. You know, worshiping God, God alone, not associating no partners with him, and just attributing everything to one source has made my life so stress-free, made my life very simple, and it's given me a purpose that I never knew I had. And by sacrificing all these things, because if you know, the word Islam means submission. A Muslim is someone who submits to the will of God. That's a Muslim. I know even when I was not a Muslim, I would think the first thing is Arab. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was stuck on Alibaba, 7 Ds. I used to watch all that stuff when I was younger. I always thought like a Muslim is Arab. Some wild dude with a hook knife in his mouth running around, you know, killing people on the camel. SubhanAllah. But basically, I learned that there is no race, color, creed, or ethnicity that describes what a Muslim is. And I'm going to give you an example. When I went to Umrah, visited Mecca, and when you enter the city of Mecca, you see a sign that says Muslims only. And you see a sign that says non-Muslims only. And when you look at the people that are going through the sign that says Muslim only, it's just like this audience right here. Multicultural, all different ethnicities, colors, race, creed, going this way. Then when you look this way where it says non-Muslims only, same thing you see here. All different races, different colors, creed, nationality. And for me being an African American born and raised in America and having a family that came through racism and oppression, you know what I'm saying, by way of slavery, I remember it was a time where things used to be like colors only, whites only. So for me to visit Mecca and see that there wasn't no distinction between the path you can take, Muslim only, non-Muslim only. It was every race and color and ethnicity in this room today.